Good evening again. Thank you so much for moving and for coming out tonight in the rain. We really, really appreciate it. Are you ready for a little rock and roll tonight? Excellent. My name's Beth Johnson. I'm the chair of the Visual and Performing Arts Department, and I'm here to welcome you tonight to this amazing event that we do once a year that really celebrates all the artistry of the students in our areas. Before we get started, I have a couple of safety things to make you aware of. There are emergency exits at the front on both sides of the stage and at the back of the auditorium, so if for some reason we need to leave, just be aware of where those are. And I need to ask you, please, 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 there's no audio or video recording during the show. No flash photography, right, for the safety of the actors and singers. Sorry, I'm a theater person, can you tell? Right after the show, if you'll go out and down into the lobby in the atrium area, we're going to have a reception, we're going to have awards. It's a really great time, and there'll be plenty of time for you to go enjoy the student art show that's down in the gallery on the first floor. So please do that. And we're going to get this started in just a moment, but I really have to thank a couple of special people who have made tonight possible. Eleanor Rideout, Jim Perry, Jeff Kidd, Lacey McKinney. Thank you so much for your leadership, for your vision. Thank you, they really deserve that. I also need to thank Dave McGuire, Jeff Smith, Maria Gillard for their talent and expertise leading these students. You're going to be amazed. You're really going to be amazed. Which was created, all this artwork by our own students here in-house. You will see an amazing list of all of the staff and the crew. They're going to make this amazing, this whole auditorium is going to be transformed. This amazing show happen. So please, if you didn't get one, take a look at it. It also has a list of some of the art awards that are inside. But tonight is really about celebrating the students, the many, many talented artists, the musicians, that have come together to put this show on, right? To this amazing, iconic band, right, that is Queen. So please clap, sing, dance along with us tonight as we present A Show Must Go On, a tribute to Queen.
Standing room only crowds. In Japan, their concerts have become a national event. In England, they are a national treasure. In the United States alone, they've sold more than 22 million albums, more than 50 million worldwide. They've been called outrageous, decadent, innovative, and brilliant. This is the Queen Special.
Queen formed in London in 1970. Their fusion of heavy metal, glam rock, and theatrical spectacle made them one of the most popular acts of the 1970s. Although panned by the majority of critics, their overdubbed, sophisticated vocal harmonies, layered guitar work, solid rhythm section, and flamboyant stage performances cemented their place in rock history, not to mention the hearts of fans worldwide. Queen can trace its beginnings to 1968, when Brian May and Roger Taylor formed the band Smile with bassist and lead singer Tim Stafford. When Staffel left in 1970, vocalist Freddie Mercury from the group Ibex stepped in as frontman.
I think he sort of had in the back of his mind maybe, some idea about maybe working with us.
So we decided we'd, take the plunge. And it was then that I sort of thought about the name Queen.
In 1971, bassist John Deacon was added, completing the quartet.
So I came along in a way, I was a bit of an outsider at first. And it did take me quite a few years to sort of grow more into the group, and find myself, at home, really.
The band's first two albums, the self-titled Queen in 1973 and Queen 2 a year later, garnered very little attention beyond radio anthem Keep Yourself Alive and chart single Seven Seas of Rhye. Their third album, Sheer Heart Attack, also released in 1974, was the breakthrough they had been waiting for. It was a massive success in the UK and throughout Europe, and went gold in the United States. Considered one of their best efforts, it featured a wide variety of musical styles. Heavy metal, pop, music hall, opera, ragtime, and even Caribbean forms populated the album. The standout track was Killer Queen, which was a huge hit on both sides of the Atlantic. The song combined vaudeville British music hall with a Led Zeppelin type sound. This laid the groundwork for the album that would make them a worldwide phenomenon, A Night at the Opera. Considered by many to be their magnum opus, this is the record that featured what would become their signature song, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Mama just killed a man.
The first thing I heard was Freddie playing Mama Just Killed a Man. What do you think? Oh, it's killer. I love it. It's absolutely brilliant.
We had all kinds of songs, and Bohemian Rhapsody happened to be, it was basically like 3 songs that I wanted to put out, and I just put the 3 together.
With its grandiose mock operatic structure and heavy metal riffing, it became symbolic of their style and sound. The song took 3 weeks to record and had so many vocal overdubs that engineers feared the recording tape would break.
We've gone over it so many times, so many overdubs and bounce downs. It literally was transparent.
Queen also shot what is considered to be the first music video in support of the song. Bohemian Rhapsody spent 9 weeks atop the UK charts, breaking the record for the longest run at #1. It was a top 10 hit in the US. The album, which also featured pop gem You're My Best Friend and hard rocker I'm in Love with My Car, climbed into the top 10 and went 3 times platinum in America. Now superstars, Queen followed up A Night at the Opera with companion album A Day at the Races. While unable to top its predecessor, it was still a critical and financial success, due in large part to hard-rocking track Tie Your Mother Down and the incredible rock ballad Somebody to Love.
And we really worked our harmonies on Somebody to Love.
Freddie's great inspiration for Somebody to Love was Aretha Franklin. He absolutely loved Aretha. Freddie would like to have been Aretha Franklin, actually, I think.
They continued to pile up hit singles in both Britain and America over the next 5 years, as each of their albums went into the top 10, always going gold, and usually platinum in the process. Queen was at the height of their popularity as they ushered in the 80s with the album The Game.
First thing we did was Crazy Little Thing. And Fred did write the song in the bath in about 10 minutes.
That was the first #1 across the board in America. Billboard, Cashbox, and Record World, I think.
Ironically, the biggest hit was the John Deacon penned Another One Bites the Dust.
I'd always wanted to do something a little bit more that was more sort of disco-y, which was very uncool at the time.
Another One Bites the Dust became a #1 crossover hit at pop, soul, and disco radio stations and opened up an entirely new market for Queen. It stayed at #1 for 4 weeks in the United States, where the album went 4 times platinum.
We're in the studio in Montreux, and David Bowie lives nearby. I think we went out for a meal or some drinks or something, and then landed up back in the studio with the sort of rough intention of doing something.
We were fooling around and just sort of jamming with tracks, and suddenly we said, why don't we just see what we can do on the spur of the moment.
Deaky, of course, came up with this riff, ding, 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 ding.
And then we went for a pizza and he forgot it. It completely escaped his mind. We got back and I remembered it.
The result is very good. But it was a difficult experience, I think. These people sort of pulling in different directions in a sense.
Despite the success of singles I Want to Break Free and Radio Gaga off the Works album, the band's popularity waned for a time. Then came July 13th, 1985, and things would never be the same.
Well, tomorrow, the pop world's greatest extravaganza, as we've been talking all morning, Live Aid, will be bringing together rock's brightest and best from both sides of the Atlantic, and all performing for free in the hope of raising millions for the starving people of Africa.
You know, from the word go, he came out of the traps like a champion. I remember looking up and seeing the whole place going completely bonkers in unison and thinking, oh, this is going well.
So, in fact, it was a great boost of confidence in a way for the group.
It was a shot in the arm. and we went back in the studio.
The single One Vision was followed by the album A Kind of Magic, which produced a string of hits and led to a sold-out tour which culminated at Wembley Stadium in London. The 2 nights at Wembley sold out so fast that they attempted to book a third night. Wembley was unavailable, so they booked Knebworth Park instead. It sold out within 2 hours, and over 120,000 fans packed the park. It would be the last time the band would perform together live.
They were our final shows with Freddie, and I remember it being pretty much perfect.
They produced 2 more studio albums before Freddie's death in 1991. While not as well known in the States, the albums The Miracle and Innuendo feature some of the band's most sophisticated and mature compositions. Each song was credited to the band as a whole instead of individual members. The superb musicianship was evident, as well as Freddie's soaring vocals as he poured every ounce of energy into each track. The spring after Freddie's death, the remaining members of Queen held a star-studded memorial concert at Wembley Stadium that was broadcast to a global audience. The concert coincided with a revival of interest in Bohemian Rhapsody, which climbed to number 2 in the US and number 1 in the UK in the wake of its appearance in the film Wayne's World. In 1995, the band released the album Made in Heaven, which featured the last tracks they recorded with Freddie. Queen was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2001. Queen and Freddie Mercury continue to be relevant today. Archival live recordings, DVDs, compilations, a Broadway show, and an Oscar-winning biopic are a testament to their popularity. Many contemporary artists cite Queen as an inspiration, and founding members Brian May and Roger Taylor still tour today. Beyond that, legions of fans around the world continue to discover and rediscover the vast wealth of music and innovation that the band produced in its 20-year reign as Queen.